Hey guys, and good evening. If you're watching this as it goes live, you're literally watching it like an hour after I recorded it, which is not something I like to do. I like to record videos, edit them, add music, all of the cute stuff, and then upload it. But because I've been so busy lately, I feel like this is my only choice, or have there be absolutely no video. And I just really don't want to do that for some reason. So I feel like it might be a good idea to just like talk about a little bit of what's going on and kind of like where my head is at. So, for some context, I have been living in Japan for 3 years and some change. This month, October 2025, makes it 3 years in total. And living in Japan has been awesome. I love Japan. It now feels like home in many ways. Um, but I also feel like the winds of change are starting to blow, and I don't know exactly what that means in the long term or like how that's going to look in the future. But I'm kind of starting to feel that way. And when I have more context for what that actually means, I'll let you guys know. But to be completely honest, I don't know exactly how that's going to look. Yeah, I think that's as much as I feel like to say right now. Um, but yeah, that's something that's been on my mind. The other thing is school. I started school. I was really nervous to start school. I honestly started for kind of like a bad reason because I just like I don't know, I felt like I was spinning my wheels. I felt like I was getting really frustrated, and I just felt like, this is going to be like a potential path forward, and I'm just going to try and see if I can do it or not. And so with that thinking, I picked the most difficult course, or what I thought would be the most difficult course in the degree plan that I'm pursuing. I'm pursuing business administration, which, if you've been watching the channel for a while, or like you kind of, have tuned into some live streams or kind of have some context for my personality, that kind of makes sense. That kind of tracks. But also, it was like the main course that my school had where I could be in person. And let me tell you, I do not like online only classes. I don't like when, you know, I don't know who the instructor is. They don't really know who I am. If I were to say my cats ate my homework, because I have two cats, if I were to say my cats ate my homework, they wouldn't know enough about me to know whether or not to believe me or not. Something like that. But the course that I just finished was a finance class. I thought it was going to be really difficult, so I picked that one to go first. And I thought if I can do this course, then that means I can, finish this degree program. So let me just pick the most difficult, problematic course and then see where it goes from there. And I checked my grade today, my grade posted, and I got a B. I thought I got a C. I ended up getting a B in that class, which I was really, really surprised by. And I think part of what saved me was I had to do a presentation, which I got like full marks on, and like I actually like public speaking type scenarios, because as you can see, I don't mind talking, and I also like the idea of talking to a room and getting some live feedback. So I think that's something that's a little bit easier than YouTube, because as you're watching this now, I can't tell if you're smiling or you're happy or not. Like maybe you're, just brushing your teeth and watching this and like, not even looking at the screen, but I can't really tell. I have no idea. But if you're looking at a room of people, you can see like somebody start scratching their head, or like looking at their phone or whatever and not paying attention and try and make a joke or speed things up. So yeah, I like that. I think that's what, kind of saved me and pushed me forward in the class. So now I've started a marketing class, which is part of the reason for the slowdown for my video production. I also have talked about this on live streams, but I don't think I've talked about it in long form content yet. That I switched from CapCut, which is what I was like, that was like my go to editing software, where I could, put all of the like fonts up on the screen and like all of the different frames and stickers and all of that, all the things. That had been my go-to for like almost 2 years, and then I realized that I didn't really like some of their policies for the software, so I completely stopped using that. So now I'm using DaVinci Resolve 20, and I'm using Nota AI, and I'm using Canva for like my, behind the scenes editing and stuff. But the thing is, there's like a big learning curve for all of those, software. So between that and being super busy, there has been a slowdown in my video production. And that is why we're sitting here having this conversation. I hope you don't mind, but I feel like I needed to get that off my chest. Um, the other thing that's kind of like on my mind a little bit is work. I don't know how to say it in a good way for this, so I guess I'll just like keep it very short, but like I feel like I really need to grow professionally. Like if I'm going to commit to being in the office, I need to be someplace where like I can grow. You know how they say like bloom where you're planted? I think I have evolved past that phase, and I no longer want to just like try and, I'm gonna get out the mud, I'm gonna grow, I'm gonna, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, I want some good soil, I want some sunny days, I want some rain. Like, I want, like, an open road for me to just, push myself, And, I think that's something that's been on my mind a lot lately, too. So, yeah, all of that. The other thing, I think the last thing that I feel like I should bring up, like this, I think this is literally the last thing. I think the last thing I want to bring up is I am supposed to do a fashion show in Tokyo as one of the models in February. So I have my first practice for that on Saturday. Wish me luck. I am planning on I'm planning on taking you guys with me through that process, but of course I got to take my camera and I got to edit all of that, and so I don't know how it's gonna look in the long term. But at the moment, the plan is to bring my camera with me, maybe my mic. I don't know any of the other girls except for one friend that's gonna do it. So I don't know how everybody's gonna feel like, towards being interviewed or like, being part of it. But I always think like that's cool. Like I like watching, for example, ballet content. I like watching like, ballerina vlog or whatever. And like one of the things I really enjoy about that type of content, I know this is a wrap, but just stay with me, is that like people will be in the studio and they'll be recording and then they'll be like, oh, let's go over here and ask so and so what she thinks or whatever. And I really like that style of content. So if everybody else is down, I'm gonna be willing to try it. I think this is a real for real last thing. I think for content, I think I am going to consider and try and progress towards two things. One, being more present on the camera, like, I don't know, like the narrator of my own videos, and like, I guess more of a personality presence in my videos. Because like, I watched a couple of my videos back last weekend and I was like, where am I? Like, I'm not really like talking you guys through what's going on enough in my head from my perspective. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong. Like, let me know. And then the other thing is like including other people more in my content. Part of the reason why I don't do it so much is like I don't really want to bother others around me. And I know some people don't want to be on the camera, so I'm not going to be like, hey, everybody be in my videos, you know? But I think, you know, if I don't open the floor for other people, like, hey, would you like to be in the video? They're probably not gonna be like, I want to be in the video. I don't know. You know, some people are friendly like that. But anyways, those are the things that are on my heart at the moment. Thank you for sitting with me through this rant. This is kind of like how I do on my live stream. So this is like a similar format. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. Sorry, there's no music. There's no edits. So all the mistakes are in there. All of the pauses and all that. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to upload it and then go to bed. It is like almost 11 o'clock at night. I have to get up at like 5 a.m. Okay, bye, guys.